Are you ready?
I've been born ready. It came out like this. It's a cesarean. The doctors
Come
are
on, they
very
kicked you
confused.
out. Hey dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with the Fingerdoo review of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 9, Episode 9. It's the Champagne episode. It's the Rusical on top of that, and I am with my illegitimate drag daughter, Wilhelmina Boxfarts. How are you, Wilhelmina?
I'm super Wilma. How are you?
I am all right. Now, before we get started,
Yes.
I need to thank some tipper-doos. We have Martha Anastasia. How are you, doll? Thanks. We also want to thank Dixie Ray, Paisley Polar Bear, Sean Smith, Amy Anderson, and of course my tipper-doo boyfriend, Vito. I love you, Vito. Thanks for all of you. If you'd like to be a tipper-doo, well, the link is down below. Shut your face. This was a fun episode.
This was a fun episode.
Yeah, I haven't enjoyed a Rusical in a long time. Not that I haven't enjoyed them, but sometimes it's either a stupid premise or the songs didn't work or something.
Yeah.
I was tapping a toe. I was humming along, but we had a lot of stuff to get through before we got to the Rusical. Specifically, the drama of the snipping.
Yeah, the snipping drama was finally coming to a close.
Yeah.
I mean, we started the episode with Roxy and Plastique celebrating their 4 badges.
Yeah.
And then Injury.
Although I think Roxy was doing most of the celebrating for that. She seemed very pleased that she was at the front of the line for badges now.
She had 4 badges and money. I think that was the difference between her and Plastique.
Yeah.
Plastique had 4 badges, but she pointed out that she had not raised any money for her charity.
Not a cent yet. And yet she's one of the strongest performers. Not strong enough for money.
Strong enough. Hope those badges are worth a lot on eBay.
Speaking of celebrating, Angie celebrated it was the last time that she'd be holding those ruby snippers, or anyone for that matter.
I think she's going to miss those snippers.
No, she's good.
She is.
She's good. There was still some like, well, why did you give them to me again? Like Plastique sitting right there. I don't know what it is. But Roxy, I thought, had a good point. She just said, well, you gave them to me, I gave them to you. This is payback. And at this stage of the last of the ruby snippers, Angie started it.
Yeah.
Roxy finished it.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
Tits for hats.
Yeah. It's not like one of them got snipped more than the other.
No, I did think this was going to be the end of the snipping drama, but then Chanel couldn't resist.
Yeah, well, she's always got something to say, bless her.
Poke that bear.
It's part of her Vegasness. The one thing I will point out, though, is I think there was an opportunity lost this season where the ruby snippers were concerned, because nobody who got snipped suffered by it. No, so they weren't in the top and couldn't get a badge.
Ineffective snips.
Yeah, so I think the snips either were handed out well, or it's the way the cookie crumbled. I don't know.
Yeah.
The production tried to make sure, because it's for charity. I don't know what, but at least on one level, for all the drama they were having for these snips, nobody really suffered. So calm down. Calm down.
Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
I also would like to take this moment to say,
Take it.
Georges is growing on me.
You know what? Georges has been growing on me for about halfway through the season.
Yeah. I realized this episode that I quite enjoy Georges. I mean, yeah, she's too young, and yeah, she says silly things, but I don't even notice it anymore because I'm quite enjoying her, especially when she's in the middle of something where she's not necessarily aware of the cameras.
Yeah, I've fallen in love with a couple of queens. I just spat all over myself.
Did you like it?
I did. I think I found it unlocked in
Is that your kink? Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Add it to the
Self-spitting? Just like, what's that sound? It's Wilhelmina. Leave her. Oh. That is nice.
Yeah, I definitely fell in love with a few queens this season who had kind of dismissed off the top.
Yeah.
And Georges is one of them. Plastique was another. I barely remembered her from her season.
Plastique is killing it.
Fallen in love.
Not just on the runway. Her runway, I was expecting to enjoy everything she wore, but wowie, wow. She has been killing the challenges, especially the comedy ones. No one expected her to do well. And then I'm wondering, is that why she seemed to do so well? Because it was more than we were expecting?
Unexpected. I mean, Ru definitely loves to reward a most improved.
Yes.
She likes to see growth. She doesn't want you to come in and just be amazing and just, destroy all the challenges with your amazingness.
No.
She loves someone to surprise her. And I think Plastique has done a really great job this season of
Yeah.
surprising everyone. I don't think anyone was expecting it.
No. Well done, Plastique.
Well done, Plastique. You good girl.
The next day, Ru didn't waste any time whatsoever in giving the queens this week's Maxi Challenge. No mini, just the Maxi.
The Maxi.
Because it was a Rusical and they had lots to do. And this Rusical, Rosemarie's Baby, that made me laugh right away. I thought it was going to be Rosemarie from the Dick Van Dyke Show. I thought they were going to spoof her look.
Nice.
But then I realized that only Ru and I know who that is. And you.
I've been told, because you told me.
I showed you
one time.
pictures.
Yeah, you showed me.
On the cave wall, I showed you.
Black and white pictures on the cave wall. Yeah, Rosemarie's baby shower, I was immediately on board.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Oh, and Ru wasn't done there. Her other big news was this week the top two queens would be getting 2 benefactress
Two?
badges.
Do they get to keep them both?
No, one for
Aw.
themselves and one to give away. Gasp. Gottmik was excited for this challenge.
Nice spooky musical.
Yeah,
She's very
yeah.
enthusiastic.
And she was, I think the LGBTQ plus community for a long time has felt an affinity towards Disney cartoons, Disney villains, that the misunderstood character in a story, whether they're eating children or slashing throats or not, misunderstood. And she compared a lot of the tropes from our community to horror
movies,
and I was very fascinated by that. I mean, she had some good points, and I only recently started watching horror. I couldn't watch it.
Too scary?
Too scary. I'm one of those people where I can't. I'll be up all night. Yeah, I can't. But I have been watching them lately, and they make me laugh.
You're so brave. You're just the bravest.
I watch them for those who can't.
Yeah, Georges was a little trepidatious. She had some flashbacks to her last Rusical, which went less than well.
Yeah, I don't know that she did a bad job. She just certainly did not do as well as everyone else.
Yeah.
One of the things that I thought was going to cause some drama, the queens got to pick their own parts. And this is always one of those things where it's like, as long as everyone wants a separate part or a different part, it's fine. But there's always one or two that want the same part.
Yeah.
Well, and this season there was only one pair of people that wanted the same role, and there wasn't really even a fight over it.
No, there was a bit of drama in the confessional, but that's
well, it was
recorded
Angie
long after
and
the fact.
Angie and Nina, and Angie's whole point was, well, you're on Broadway every week. Why'd you let another bitch have a role that she likes? And I get that, I understand, but it's still competition.
Still competition. Yeah, Angie consulted the spirits for help, which was hilarious.
She's so funny.
And then the answer was unclear, so they just picked names out of a hat, and Nina won.
Yeah. And that was that.
And that was that.
The lead, Rosemarie, went to Plastique. No one contested her for that. And I was really impressed that she went for the lead.
Too. I think she's just really feeling herself this season. She's like, I can do this. I can handle this.
Angie ended up playing Ruth, who was one of the landlord's sisters, or a sister of the landlord. There were two sisters that were the landlord. And of course, this character was named after Ruth Gordon, who was in the original Rosemary's Baby. She was the one, the landlord, but she was the one in the scene with the phone, and everyone leaned to see what she was doing.
Such a stressful stage.
Such a good movie.
Who are you talking to?
Ruth Gordon was the first and only person to ever win an Oscar for a horror movie.
Rosemary's Baby is a movie that taught me that to not trust old people.
Yeah. They're not all...
They're all of the devil.
Butterscotch mints and Kleenexes up their sleeves.
No. So I push old people down. Just in case they're going to call the devil. Yeah. I don't want to be impregnated with the devil's baby.
Not again.
Not again.
Ooh. Barely came back from the last.
I only just lost the devil baby weight. I also thought it was very bold choice for Chanel to pick a character who was on stage the whole time.
For the whole thing.
Because she thought she would have more time to shine, and you definitely have more time to shine.
It's true.
You also have more time to just die a horrible death. I mean,
and for someone who's not done a Rusical, this is the other thing. Like, she's never done one.
I thought it was a very brave choice.
Yeah, no, I was very impressed. Like, she seems to at least be realizing, okay, Mama's got to make some moves
step
here.
it up?
Yeah. There were a bunch of characters in the play that were meant to, like, they were guests at a party, so they were all iconic characters from horror movies. There was Blair, the possessed little girl. That went to Gottmik. No one seemed to have a problem with her doing that one. And then, of course, there was Pennywise the Clown. And I was impressed that they didn't change Pennywise's name.
They did. It was Pennywise.
Oh, was it Pennywise? I'm so sorry. I didn't pay any attention to this at all, clearly. But Pennywise. And Roxy took that, I think, because she...
I think it was the leftover role.
Yeah, like she
didn't care.
Didn't want to cause any drama over this.
She did not want another villain in it. She was not going to fight for her part. She was just going to be happy to take whatever was left over.
And Georges wanted Morgan, who was an AI doll, because it was a dance role, like a heavy dance role.
She wanted them dancing.
Yeah, so no one got a problem with that either. No, not so bad, Georges. Get your son. Actually, there was one more role. The titular role.
The baby.
Rosemary's baby. Vanjie got that. And I love that it was being played as a full-grown adult.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Georges would have made sense. I would have bought Georges.
Georges would have been the logical choice because she is the smallest, but I love that it wasn't Georges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Good job.
It all made sense once I saw it. I was like, okay.
Yeah. So right away, they all went to, the recording session with Michelle Visage.
And composer David Steinberg.
Oh, yes.
Chanel was up first and confessed to Michelle that she's not a singing queen. She doesn't sing in the shower. She doesn't sing on stage. She doesn't sing even a little bit.
That surprised me.
Some people just don't like singing.
No, it's true, but it still surprised me. I expected that she's one of those people that sings.
Yeah, some people don't like singing, and some people don't like your singing.
I think all in all, everyone did a fairly good job in the recording. There were no surprises, I don't think, except Vanjie's foot.
Vanjie's creepy exorcist foot?
Once they pointed that out, I started judging Vanjie differently.
It just kept turning around like an owl's head.
Yeah.
Or I guess an exorcist baby.
Well, it was perfect casting then.
It was very disturbing.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that Plastique did a great job. Everyone.
Plastique was hot and horny. I thought Georges had a fun time.
Roxy as Danny DeVito as Pennywise, fantastic.
Fantastic. Good thing they weren't singing that live, because there's no way you'd be able to keep that voice up.
No.
I thought Nina just nailed it.
Yeah.
Nina did a great job. Yeah. I think my favorite bit of feedback that Michelle gave any of the queens was telling Angie to cover up your nipple, girl, where you sell milk to. She was slowly slipping out of her tiny top.
They had no idea. Miguel Zarate warned the queens that this was going to be a dance-heavy session because, well, it's A, a Rusical, and B, there was just a lot of dancing in it.
There's a lot of dancing, yeah. I was quite surprised because I was like, oh, wait, I thought Georges had the only dancing roles. Like, no.
Georges and Plastique, first of all, I think, really, and Vanjie were clearly in the running for being the best dancer in the group. They kept up with Miguel. There seemed to be absolutely no problems where they were concerned. Yeah.
Georges did get a little nervous when Miguel told her she needed to put a little more robot in her dancing, and she was a little concerned that she wouldn't be able to meld her usual fluid self with the necessities of playing an AI robot.
I like the conundrum she had. She didn't want to look too human, but she didn't want to look too robotic. You know? What if she did a mediocre dance job? They said, yeah, you were too robotic. Well, I'm playing a robot. What do you want? And then it was on to the runway. Rue looked gorgeous. I love this wig on her. This is a different style of wig. She doesn't often wear a wig like this.
She's wearing, just the colors are really nice. Yeah. So maybe the lights are hitting them the right way, but
yeah, they've hit their stride with her hair finally. God bless. I also just want to mention how beautiful Michelle Visage looked this week. And I think one of the reasons was she just wasn't wearing as much makeup. Like, it was less styled. Do you know what I mean? Like, less drag. It was much more natural look. She looked great. Very impressed. Speaking of looking great and being impressed, Christine W. was the guest.
Christine W.
17 #1 dance record hits. She is tied in third place for the most #1 consecutive #1 hits with 9 with Beyonce.
Yeah, the 90s were very good to her.
Oh yeah, she was. Had you heard of her before this?
I didn't recognize her name, but then I looked her up and I immediately recognized some of her songs.
Yeah, I was the same.
Again, I'm a little bit too young to have been dancing to them at the same time you were. But
but I feel like I wasn't going to the clubs anymore by the time she was recording. But I went to the clubs very young. Like, I was at the clubs at like 15, 16. And I was done with clubs by the time I was 8. I was old and tired.
I've heard all these. I've heard all the songs.
Yeah.
Girl needs to sit down.
Yeah. So I did. And then it was on to the Rusical. Do you want to know what the best part of the Rusical was? Jesse James Patterson.
That little wink.
Oh,
I flooded my
dirty,
basement.
dirty little sex pot.
I had to put a towel down. I flooded my basement. It was... Ooh, I couldn't control myself.
I hated Plastique for being able to just hold his hand, among other things.
Just his hand. Just his hand.
But he winked at us.
He winked at me specifically.
Well, you get in the way.
He winked at me.
I think it was a tick.
You're a tick.
That's Wilhelmina. Oh. My only complaint about the Rusical was the amount of clothes that Jesse was wearing.
Yeah, and that he left fairly early on.
Yep. He kind of did his job and got the hell out of town, which I normally don't complain about. But in this case, I think he could have come back with less on.
Yeah, he could have stayed in the outskirts of town.
Maybe Jesse James Patterson can't dance.
Thankfully, all the hot dancers came in shortly thereafter.
Yeah, and they weren't wearing much. And Jesse who?
Jesse who?
What did we think of the Rusical?
I loved this Rusical. I thought
so much fun.
Plastique did an amazing job. I thought Chanel nailed it.
Yeah, Chanel surprised the hell out of me.
She surprised me.
Not only did she sound good, I liked her accent, but the physicality of that character. She was so large, much larger than life. And her hands were moving. She's always doing something, and I was very impressed. For somebody who hasn't done a Rusical, this is a queen who has no problem performing.
Yeah, she was in character the whole time. I thought Angie did a great job.
Angie always does a great job.
I don't know why she decided that her character had scoliosis. It was a choice.
Yeah, it was a weird choice. She was always hunched over.
It was a choice, but I fell into it, but I thought she did a fantastic job as well.
Yeah.
I thought Mina did a really solid job as well, but I was kind of expecting a little more. Like if you're going to church and you're having a revival, I just felt it needed like an extra 10%.
Yeah, it seemed restrained in a little way. Yeah.
If you're praising the Lord, praise the Lord.
Yeah, get down there. I felt like there were a couple of moments while she was doing it where I thought, I bet you Angie would have killed that. You know what I mean? There were just a couple of moments I thought Angie would have been better in the role, but
I wasn't sure if this was direction or if this was just Nina. So
or editing or any of it. She didn't do a bad job.
No, I just wanted to, because I was so looking forward to it. Because from the rehearsal doing the vocals, I was like, I can't wait. So I think my expectations were a lot higher, and so I was like, that was really good, but it wasn't really great. I wanted really great.
Yeah. Yeah, do you think we set the bar too high for Nina with these musical things?
And
she does a great job, but we're expecting more?
I think the judges are doing it to her too. Like,
true.
They expect her to do it, they're like, okay. Yeah. And when she does it, they're like, yeah, that was really great.
Yeah.
But we wanted it to be amazing.
We did.
Comic was fun. The wig spinning around was a good time.
That was a cute touch. Clearly they cleared the set, reset her wig, and filmed that, but just for the impact of it in the actual viewing, very fun.
It was too dumb. I love that.
Yeah.
I thought Roxy was terrifying.
Oh my God, that was horrible makeup.
I don't know who did her makeup, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if she did it herself.
I don't know.
I forgot it was Roxy.
Yeah, I totally forgot it was Roxy. So Georges killed.
Georges nailed it. Nailed it. Yeah. I was so impressed.
So impressed. I think the contacts helped too with that blank stare, you know. But she just her movements were very specific, but they saved the best for last. Vanjie came out in that outfit with the horns at the top of the top hat and the whole thing being red and sequined, and
I forgot who she was. I forgot she was supposed to be the baby when she came out. It's
so
like, what the devil's here?
Yeah, she looked good. She sounded great. It was a great way to finish the Rusical. I think I have to agree. This is one of the best ones ever.
One of my favorite ones.
Yeah. Well done, everybody. Yeah. Snap? Is that what we do?
Snap.
I don't know what they do. And then it was time for the Runway. Category is Bring Back My Pearls.
Ooh.
Plastique. This is such a great design. This is an older design. I've seen it a few times in history, but it's usually done in black or two-toned. But oh my God, this was so beautiful. I nearly threw up.
Did you gag on her eleganza?
I gagged so much that I gave her Fingerdoo. Maybe the Fingerdoo had something to do with it. Like, oh! Angeria was next in her Vegas show pearl. Do you see what I did there?
I did. That's so clever. Did you write that on your hand?
I wrote it on the computer. I love this. This was like a classic Vegas showgirl outfit, but it also had like a retro saloon-y quality to it. I just was so impressed with this dress. It was great. When she came out in the coat and that headpiece, I was like, oh God, that's a hell of a headpiece. But when she took the coat off and the dress, it all made sense. It was beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, Fingerdoo for Angie.
Next on the runway was Chanel. And
Yes.
I seen her getting ready and I was like, what are you doing? Are you doing a gothic? What's happening?
Yeah.
She wandered down the runway looking like an alien Teletubby with smallpox.
Yes.
And I was there for it.
Yeah, she looked great. I was so surprised by this look on her.
It was shocking.
Yeah. I didn't like the look. Don't get me wrong. I didn't like it particularly, but I was so surprised that she did it. And that kind of changed my opinion of it a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, very unexpected for Chanel. So I was all over it. I thought she looked bizarre and kind of fun and not really like herself, and it was refreshing.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, and that's why I gave her a Fingerdoo.
Mm.
Yeah, right there. She didn't even wait for it.
Didn't even wait. Next down the runway was Gottmik in a vision of black pearls and skeletons and ram's horns. And
I love horns in a costume. If you can incorporate horns into a look, I'm always going to give it an extra point or two.
You're a whore for horns.
I'm a horn whore.
You're a horn whore.
I'm horny.
It did kind of look like she'd piled a bunch of black caviar up on her shoulders, but I didn't care.
No, it looked great.
I didn't care.
I wasn't a big fan of the fabric of the bodysuit, but everything else was so beautiful that I still gave her a Fingerdoo.
Yeah, the bodysuit was secondary to everything that was attached to it.
It was just a conduit for the rest of it to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Speaking of conduits, Roxy's String of Pearl Fantasy. I have to say, I'm so impressed by Roxy's wardrobe choices because as a big girl, she wears very little, but it's strategic and it's beautiful. And this is what proportion, this is what fit. These are all these elements in costume design that make her things look so great on her. And she makes most of them herself.
And this is how you do a nude illusion.
Yeah. Yeah, she looked so good.
She looks so stunning.
How could you not give her a Fingerdoo?
Give it to her.
Mm.
Oh.
We're going to have to give her that pearl necklace.
Pearl bodysuits.
No. Pearl everywhere. Georges has never looked so elegant.
This was very understated.
It was still a short dress, but she looked so dressed for a change.
She looked so classy.
Yeah.
Yeah, very understated for Georges. I was very impressed.
Yeah. Well done. Fingerdoo. Fingerdoo, George.
Mm.
And, well, then there was Nina. I don't know what was going on with this. First of all, where were the pearls? There were very few pearls. If there were pearls there, they were almost added as an afterthought. Now, the wig was gorgeous and had pearls in it, but why the hairpiece in front?
That was confusing.
It didn't make any sense. If it had been made out of pearls, then I would have at least gone, oh, okay. But it was just braids of hair.
I didn't realize it was hair.
Yeah.
At first.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was going to be a reveal to, like, I don't know, one giant pearl on her face or something, but I'm like, no.
And then the Elizabethan collar on that drop shoulder of the dress didn't make sense because it was a different period. It had nothing to do with anything. And again, it's one of those things where Nina, I think, overdresses. She puts too much fabric on her and she feels... I know she's telling herself it's camp, but I feel like it's a camouflage. She's hiding it. Camp Shame.
Camp Krusty?
Camp Krusty.
Camp Silver Lake? Speaking of horror, is Jason coming up behind you? What's going on?
Think twice about trying to kill somebody with that much fabric on them.
Well, I mean, you could just put her in the water, though.
The weight of it all would just take her down. You know.
Take her
but where's the fun in that?
Where's the fun?
Why carry a knife? It's a lot of fabric.
Fabric.
That's the thing is, when I see her in these ugly outfits, I think, gee, that's a lot of money spent on nothing. Bless. Unless you're getting a discount. Maybe she's just buying it all in a discount bin.
Who doesn't love discount fabric?
Of course, needless to say, no surprise. No Fingerdoo for Nina.
What?
Finger don't, Ms. West. Last down the runway, and again, I'm just going to say they saved the best for last, was Vanessa Vanjie Mateo on the half shell.
She brought her own recording booth with her.
It was stunning. All I can think of right away is how much sound she had in her face the whole afternoon with that clamshell around her head. It's like a dog in a shame cone.
Well, now you know how I feel. Or the rest of us, not me personally. No, I'm just saying Vanjie needs to experience her voice the way the rest of us experience it.
That's right. That's true. It's true. But she looks so gorgeous.
She looks amazing.
She's killed the runway this season.
Yeah.
Like, she really has stepped it up. Well done, Vanjie. Fingerdoo for you. And as advertised, the top 2 queens this week got 2 benefactress badges, 1 to keep and 1 to give away. And those top 2 queens were Georges and
Chanel!
Yeah! And there was great rejoicing. Finally.
As much as I've been picking on Chanel all season long, I was so proud of her.
Yeah.
I cheered out loud.
I was so impressed. Well, the whole cast did. They were so thrilled that she won. And she really deserved that. That wasn't a pity win. Like, she killed that challenge.
I mean, and she could have been in the top 2.
She could have been. I was surprised. I will admit I was surprised Georges was. But she did such a good job. Yeah,
I thought Georges did an amazing job. But I thought Angie might have been the other one. And then maybe Nina might have been the other one. But I think they gave it to a most improved. And I don't think it was a pity.
No, I don't think either of them were given a free pass.
I don't think it was a pity at all. No. But I think Chanel definitely got a, we didn't expect it. We didn't think you had it in you. We're going to give this to you.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah. And before they gave away their second badges, they had to do a lip sync. And because Christine W. was there, they did her huge hit, Love Come Home. This was a fun lip sync.
This was a fun lip sync.
Yeah.
Lots of hair flips from Georges.
Yeah, and then Chanel, not being that queen, didn't try to be, and did her, and she was captivating. Even in that weird bubble costume, she still looked great.
I mean, as soon as Georges would dance next to her, it's like, okay, now things are getting weird.
Yeah.
Things are getting weird. This Teletubby does not fit in.
Yeah.
But when Georges wasn't right next to her, it was pretty fun.
No, Chanel did a great job. She emoted. She did all this stuff. She was down. She was up. But she just didn't throw herself around like a fool. And I have to say, I was so pleased that when the music died, Ru announced it was a tie. I'm not a huge fan of a tie, but I thought for this case here, for both of them, because I don't think Georges has won any money really for her charity.
Georges won a bit of cash.
A little bit of the mini challenge money, but not anything. So they both got $5,000 for their charity.
Which I always think is cheap. Here's my problem with the tie. I want a tie to be when both queens are so ridiculously good that you're just giving them a standing ovation and you really can't, you'd have to split hairs to figure it out. I don't think that was the case here.
Yeah, no.
And I also think it's really cheap that you only get half the money for your charity.
Yeah. If it's a tie and you can't afford to give them both the same, then pick one.
Then just pick one.
Just pick one.
Pick one.
But either way, I think they were both thrilled to share the win and both thrilled to get some money for the charity. But on top of that, they both got their extra badge to give away.
Who were they going to give
Well, Georges, as she had said in the workroom earlier that day, she said that if she got an extra badge to give away, she would give it to Chanel because she'd been killing it the whole season. True. And she did. She walked over to Chanel and gave that queen an extra. So Chanel went from no badges to 2 in 3 minutes.
Moments.
Yeah. And so Chanel paid back the favor. She thought, yep, good enough. She gave hers to Georges, which put her up to 4.
Yeah, that was
badges.
a dumb move.
Right. I wouldn't have given it to her. No. I wouldn't have given it to another 2 queen or something.
I understand why she gave it to her, because she's like, you were very nice. I heard you say this in the workroom. Yeah. Tits for hats, and then give you one back. And it's like, yeah. Not very strategic, but very nice.
Yeah. Either way, all we can do is tune into RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 9 next week to see who wins the next badge, who moves up the ladder, who doesn't, what twist does RuPaul have for them to even out the playing field, so to speak. I don't like them evening out the play. Make it more difficult.
Yeah, let there be a run.
Smaller hoops, higher poles. Yes. You heard me. Get in there, get out.
Let the leaders snowball with badges. Let it be a runaway.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I do think that they're trying to, Ruth saying, there's still a path to the finale for all of you.
So they all keep trying. So no one sits there and goes, why? What bother? I'm going home early. I'm having pie. That's always my default. Is there pie?
Is there pie?
Well, there you go. That's the episode done and dusted. If you like this review, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that.
What's wrong with you?
While you're down there, in the description box, I have links to other ways that you can support the Fingerdoo review, either with a Tipperdoo, by joining the Fingerdoo family on Patreon, or getting your own Wilma merch from my Redbubble store. Finally, please leave a comment. I love it when you leave a comment, especially when they're about this one. And Until next time, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having.
Miss us! Mwah! Seriously.
Seriously.
It was a good musical. What's your other favorite musical? Do you have any favorite?
I can't remember if it was one of the... one of the UK ones
The
was
rats
really
one.
enjoyable.
They did
Was
the
that
one
it?
with mice instead of cats. It was rats. So funny.
And then I can't remember what the other one was, but this one definitely really...
There was
it was nice and tight.
Yeah.
None of the songs overstayed their welcome.
Yeah.
It was just really... And it was really fun.
Yeah.
And everyone... it's fun. It's always fun to watch a train wreck, but I don't like watching people fail.
Yeah.
So the fact that everyone did such a great job,
The
and the
All-Star
fact that Jesse was in
season...
it, like, just,
Was it All-Stars 4 with Alaska and Roxy and Detox?
I don't know.
Whatever
remember
All-Star
it.
that one was, they did a Rusical, and it was the history of women in history, and Alaska played Eve, and Roxy played Evita Perón at the end, and I did it better than Madonna. That was one of my favorite ones. Also, the Glamazonian Airwaves.
Amazonian Air was
So fun. I love that one.
They should put them in a compilation so we can judge them.
There should be. Also, I think it would be fun if they were able to flesh out one or two of them into tours.
Yeah. Well, maybe they do. We don't go. We don't pay to go see these queens.
No. They do
we just judge
segments from them, but they don't do like a full musical. And I think if they fleshed it out, that some of them would be worth doing. I'm just saying. They paid for the song. Might as well use it.
Flesh it out.
Do it. Don't say flesh. Oh, now I gotta pee. No, I don't.
Oh, now I have wet feet.